Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Korean Server Qualifier number 1. We just saw pretty crazy best of 5 ZVP. Watching through those highlights there, really a bit of a reminder as to just everything that happened in that series. And I think our next series, which is also going to be some Zerg vs Protoss, will be hard pressed to challenge it in terms of craziness at least.
Yeah, herO going up against Impact, and we've seen herO recently. We've seen a lot of him actually. He's been playing really well the entirety of the last few months / 2017. Really playing his own brand of Protoss, to be honest, with a lot of aggressions, a lot of timings and attacks here and there. Going up against an Impact who's got a hell of a run already in this qualifier. The winner will be going to Katowice. The loser will play the winner of TY against Innovation, which we should be broadcasting next. So it's going to be not just a good series there, but a lot more good games. And that's not even a qualifying match.
Yeah, it's just a best of 3.
The one after that, I mean, yeah, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, it's going to be really crazy. Still a lot of action to come here. And we're going to kick it off now with a best of 5 ZVP to the top left-hand side. Our Red Protoss player, Root Gaming, is herO. His opponent to the bottom right-hand side, representing Dead Pixels, a Blue Zerg player, Impact.
Impact is still one of those Zergs that's kind of a classic in a way, gets counted out quite a bit, even though he's really, really good.
Yeah, he really does this. He's really delaying this for a little while. Adds on 2 more drones even before he gets that hatchery up. Yes, he had to wait for the probe to come up into the main base, but that's a bit of something. But yeah, as you say, he really does get counted out a lot, and I think even particularly against herO this year, he's had some success where a lot of people would have pretty much every time kind of favored herO in the series.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously a very interesting position to be in here.
He has such a great story as well. Like we saw him in the documentary State of Play, you know, talking, like being so young and talking about how he looked up to Jedong, only to, like a while later, meet him on StarCraft II. I think that was at the DreamHack Bucharest back then, like very deep into the tournaments. Like it's fantastic story, like previously of Axiom, participating now in, you know, many international tournaments. In fact, he's definitely one of those guys very high up there in terms of being just right behind the absolute best Zerg players, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
but
he's always
not being talked about as much.
He's always been a challenger. He's always been someone who, when you go up against him, you can't just count him out. You know, you can't just say, "Oh, right, Impact. Yeah, he'll, you know, he may take a map." No, this guy can always take series. He will always be a danger, and I mean that's kind of obviously very true already today, right? He's taken down Sue in the first round of this competition, and he took down SOS in the winners bracket. So he's already on a hot streak today. herO will be, well, a very difficult opponent, but that potential is there. There's a Stargate from herO as well. Just getting the feeling that Stargate just seems to be the way to play PvZ in the Korean server at the moment. And this is our 6th PvZ game in a row with Stargate-based play. We're boosting out the second Adept as well, so herO always one who likes to play with those Adepts early, look for some drone kills. As the probe finally going to start making its way back home, with plenty of time before the speed finishes up.
Impact actually had a pretty good home story cup not too long ago either, where he beat Showtime, he beat Harstem, but his
laser, right?
No, his ZVZ was really the big problem because I think he lost to Scarlet and then Snoot.
Oh, Snoot, of course.
Yeah, so he lost to Snoot in the round of 8. So ZVZ is kind of like where he struggled a little bit more, but versus Protoss, beating Harstem and Showtime definitely was pretty impressive. That wasn't that long ago, so I feel like he still should be good in the matchup, but it's herO he's facing now. It's an entire other beast.
Yeah, herO is arguably one of the best Protoss players in Korea at the moment. I mean, obviously Zest is challenging for that kind of right at the moment as well. But at the same time, I mean, herO's just had a great end of 2017. Obviously looking at start 2018 off with a great performance as well. As right now, those Adepts though get caught, and well, obviously he kind of gave up on them because he wasn't even going to try to shade them away properly. So a little bit of a disaster there from herO. Although that said, he is already up 9 workers, and well, as a Protoss player, that is kind of the dream. Impact catching up quickly as he continues to get those units out. And the first Oracle about to arrive here. herO going for a second Oracle as well. Something we didn't see too much of out of Classic throughout his series against Dark. So already some slight differences in play between the two Protoss.
It's pretty cool we're seeing them face off as well in the qualifying match here for Katowice, because neither of them had a big success in the Pyeongchang qualifiers. Impact actually lost in the stage 1 to Innovation, whereas herO, he lost in the stage 2 to Zest and then Sue.
So actually a little bit of weakness in the PvZ against Steve. I mean, it's Sue, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
can
don't
you
think you
call
can
it
take one
weakness?
single match and be like, nah, he
Yeah.
struggles. Like, I feel like for Impact, it's more meaningful that, you know, he lost ZVZs at home Story Cup to like foreigners, even though they were two of the best. But in this case, yeah, I feel like both of them should be pretty good here in their respective matchup. But like, yeah, like I said, it's cool, you know, like they didn't have success for the Pyeongchang one, but now the hope is alive for both of them, and at least one of them guaranteed in Poland. Look at his Oracle, isn't that like
This is
super badass skin?
it's a very bulky Oracle. I was gonna say this
been
warp
lifting,
is
man.
kind of crazy.
Protein shakes on protein shakes.
Yeah, the buff Oracle here gonna be trying to do something to depth with them towards the natural, and again, I think that warp into the top side is so intriguing. It's not something you usually see without kind of waves being present. Slow depth warpins coming in there as we're going to be seeing these oracles, and the depth's going to try to fight in the main. The most important thing is he's pulling units out of position to then hit into this third hatchery at the same time. So losing one oracle is a shame. The depth will probably not make it out, but you will start to get some damage. I mean, this is nice, right? He's forcing so many units, killing drones. He's keeping that work account even throughout the game so far.
And the thing about herO is that he saves most of his units, and the ones that die, they still always end up trading. See, now he evacuates because he knows, even without seeing it, he knows that there's going to be enough units behind these to clean up his units that he has there across the map. So he's going to keep them alive instead of sacrificing them not being cost effective. He's already done the damage. He's already kept impact down on walkers. All he has to do from there is play a solid game, take a third base. He's going to be alright, but he's still getting 5 more gates, which is hinting that he might want to do a follow-up massive attack. And with no third base in sights, actually, he might have to even commit to this quite a bit.
It wouldn't be a terrible way to go about things. I mean, he's going to have +1, he'll have charge, the Archons will be available as well, so it'll be a pretty powerful push if he wants to go for it, but it's still generally nice to get a third next behind of kind of follow-up as that is a nice save with the Prism to keep that Sentry alive. And the probe as well. Cute play by herO so far, as those Lings causing some chaos. And we see that finally the first High Templar starting to come into play as well. herO has to look to be aggressive here sometime soon, right? I mean, okay, the 47 workers is alright, it's not nothing, but you know, he's so well set up to go and be aggressive.
You see the one Sentry, by the way, is huge, like that he saved that, because it's going to be the one Guardian Shield in the fight, which is so meaningful. herO, we've seen, actually, he was at the Global Finals, like he had some unreal PvZs where like I was looking at his army and I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work at all. But then just through his micro and saving the Archons and Immortals that he had every single time, he somehow managed to make this style work of like being super aggressive. But in this case, he doesn't have double Prism like he did back then. He's just the one, and he's playing with Archons more so than with Immortals, but still a big commitment on the attack here.
Here we go. There's so many roaches up from Impact, though. He kind of cut workers to make sure he could start coming in with this. Well, Prism staying at the back, does not want to be hit down by corrosive biles, and that definitely is the fear of so many Ravagers.
Guardian Shield has run out now.
Yeah, herO doesn't get a warp in either, so he's in a little bit of trouble. If Ling's still counterattacking, they cancelled that Nexus once already, it seems. And it looks as though herO's just going to have to back away, but I think this is a very good defense from Impact. Wow, and he's going to get the Warp Prism here. If herO isn't careful, he wasn't expecting Hydras.
Wow.
Huge pickoff to the point where now the counterattack, as he catches these Adepts, might just kill herO, because herO has absolutely nothing left, basically.
32 army supply to 83. Impact with a great defense. And I've casted series of Impact before where I've said this. He's one of the best Zergs defensively against anything that you can throw at him early on like this. And herO, stylistically, it's almost one of the worst matchups possible for him to play against somebody like Impact, because like we already see it here in game 1, he goes for a big attack and Impact is completely ready with just so many units, defends perfectly, and now he's in a position where all he has to do is go across the map, do a little bit of kiting, and could even dance his units at this point if he wanted to.
Yeah, he really could, and he knows that he doesn't need to make workers or anything right now. He knows to just keep pumping out units. I love this little bit of a split away to keep those units back, while also kind of continuing to work his way through the Nexus. Now an Immortal comes into play, but when you don't have anything to protect that Immortal, it really doesn't matter. GG is from herO, because Impact is going to take the 1-0 lead in this best of 5. He's looking very good so far.
Yeah.
Don't count him out. We said it.
And this is now a completely different dynamic to what we saw in Classic versus Dark, where, like I said, herO is the one that's always pressing on the acceleration pedal, always trying to go forward, be aggressive. Sometimes he's good at tricking his opponent into thinking he's going to be more aggressive than he actually is. But it's always going to be attacks no matter what here and there. And like I said, Impact defensively, he's so sound, in my opinion, in this matchup. I feel like I've almost never seen like a series or even a game from him where like one of these timings just like straight up killed him. No, he's always at least put up a great fight in those situations. So stylistically, like Impact definitely has the advantage right now. Do we see herO mixing in maybe some fake attacks into like
so.
bigger, better macro?
I mean, you can't just do that again, right? Because Impact was so prepared. It wasn't even close. Like, herO didn't even get a chance to warp in extra units. And then obviously, you know, herO made some mistakes as well. Like, losing the Warp Prism is huge because suddenly your 2 Archons down on the defense. But even before those 2 Archons fall, I think Impact's going to just flood across and win. Or at least do a lot of damage, maybe cancel the 3rd Nexus again. And at that point, he can drone up or so.
Yeah.
So it's really tough for herO. I think you have to start just macroing a bit. In fairness, herO loves being aggressive, but he can play so well in the macro styles as well. You know, so that's something you can at least look to here. It'll be interesting to see.
We know he can. It's just that like he'd much rather make units defend and then kind of like play from there. I just want to see if herO is maybe capable of like slowing down a little bit. You know,
changing it up completely.
Not going for attacks, but still kind of faking them because you have to play to your image, right? If you go just straight up like no rush 10 style and you just make probes and tech, like obviously the Zerg, he can fly in overlords, he can scout that, and then he's making as many walkers as you are, and then you're still in trouble. So you have to trick your opponent in there somewhere. In this case, it was just Impact, seeing what's coming, countering it, and then getting a first map solid win.
Pretty interesting first game as Impact is able to take the lead in this series. We'll be jumping into game 2 in a moment. Obviously start the best of 5. We're back to those sort of standard maps, so the chance for people to, or for each other to kind of feel each other out, as this is going to be Blackpink here. So the top right-hand side, down a map, can he start to pull it back? Our Blue Protoss player is herO. His opponent, of course, to the bottom left side of the map, our Red Zerg, is Impact.
Got a couple updates from the lower brackets. Stats was able to beat SOS. And so both SOS and Zez, the 2 guys that made it to Pyeongchang, are out here in this one. We're going to get new players making it to Katowice, at least in this first qualifier. So it's going to be Classic versus Stats in that part. And then Innovation took out TY. So Innovation faces the loser of herO against Impact. And then the winner of each of those matches plays one another in a qualifying match.
Absolutely crazy. Well, it's going to be still some great games to come. I was just thinking herO last year actually had a very disappointing Katowice as well. He went out in group stages on like the first day. It was a real shame for him. It was, you know, he was kind of hyped up back then as well. Like he was doing pretty well around Katowice at times still. Like he won a GSL Super Tournament. Not
for a guy that we talk about as the Intellectual Masters Prince, you know, like he's won multiple ones. He went to the finals in Katowice once before, losing to SOS there to some proxies.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise last year for herO, and well, Impact would love to get there this year. And I think Impact, I can't remember, but I feel as though he's one of the Korean players who did make the trip for the open bracket last year after not qualifying. So it'd be cool to see him, you know, getting his way paid this time. Would be a big benefit to him. And also the difference is obviously any of these players can fork out the expenses to go play through the open bracket.
Yeah.
But man, is it tough, right? Because all the European players are going to be there.
It's so much better to already be in the tournament.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're talking the difference of. Like,
and also, like, if you're one of these guys and you're already in the tournament, you have a pretty good chance to score some big money. And like we said, it's $400,000 prize pool there, which, by the way, is absolutely insane. Like, if I think back on like tournaments in like 2011 and stuff, the first place finish was $5,000, Wardy, and all the best players in the world were there. It wasn't 100,000; it was 5,000, which is like pathetic in comparison.
It's a real huge amount of money on the line. As the second game, well, everything we said so far, I keep feeling as though something different's going to happen, but it's just a Stargate, it's free hatcheries. Not as much aggression this time from herO for the initial Adept, and doesn't look for kind of early kills. Maybe if the second Adept arrives, and he will, but right now just chrono boosting out probes, and even still he's actually up 6 workers. It's crazy. It's kind of weird, because like early game PvZ now, like super early game, kind of actually does have the Protoss player taking that worker lead until there's kind of gets a couple of injects going to mass up those drones. It's a bit of an interesting or different dynamic to what we're used to in the PvZ of the past.
Yeah, let's see how well herO can manage those links here. Like Impact really trying to trick herO there, hoping that he will leave that natural base, but herO spotted some of the extra links that were out on the map, so he's kind of gotten a tail, and he's going to choose to play extra safe here against a Zerg that he knows likes to make units. Usually for defense, but apparently sometimes for the attack too. He's ready. Wow, what a guy.
The Deb
What a
jumps
boss.
into the wall and will be able to push those Zerglings away. The Oracle will use its pulsar beam defensively as well.
And now those two adepts are a big threat as well. They forced a lot more links out of Impact, who has to get spores as well. Like, it's a disaster of a start almost, I feel, for Impact. Because these links did nothing. Not only they did nothing across the map, they also prevented him from getting a lot more drones.
Yeah, it's really not how you want things to be going. Already herO here will be in a much more comfortable position moving forwards. He starts up a Phoenix behind his two Oracles to start pushing back the Overlords, which are currently still in his main. Adepts will not commit, but of course Impact had to make those Zerglings just in case they did. And this time herO is going to go right towards the third Nexus, so he's going to really speed things up, accelerate from what he did in the last game. Get that third Nexus early and then start teching up and then start looking towards. He continues on as a Roach Roaring from Impact, so he is looking to play the Roach style here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this pneumatized card base here. Does he actually want to go the extra mile with the scouting after knowing that he's going to lose his Overlord? Or could there be some sort of attack here with maybe, you know, Roach Drop and Queens in the works? I don't think... There isn't an Evo yet, so it's not looking like it's like that.
Yeah, the lack of Evos... Does he just maybe like mass up Roaches and attack? There's an Evo coming down.
Yeah, okay, so maybe Queens? Did he make extra Queens yet?
I don't think so, right?
I mean, it's like I said, it's a disaster of a start. He has one extra queen so far. Like, you need a whole lot more than that. I think you would need to drop like maybe like 6 queens at least, and then do a massive attack with Roachlings. But yeah, Impact is only making units right now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get aggressive.
Wow, so he's going to go for it. herO, though. Can he see this coming? That's the main thing here. Is he able to realize? He sees no tech. I think he saw the Evo. Oh, okay, no, he barely missed it, but he sees no tech and the Roach Run here. That's a big tell. Starts 2 more gates charge, a Robo as well.
And he already has a shield battery on the third base as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he's really set up nicely to start defending.
He's still making probes, though. He doesn't need any more probes. He's already on 46 against 34. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to hold them, but obviously if he knew for a fact.
God, these adapts. It just never end. 2 more shit into the natural. So much mining time lost.
He sees a lot of roaches around there.
Yeah. I think herO's going to start picking up on this. He even makes another Oracle, though, which is maybe not what you would kind of expect. An Oracle of all things. Drones of Impact just keep on dying.
Oh my god.
Well,
Swap in.
I guess he's got the Oracles for now, right? The Roaches are very slow to cross the map.
And these adepts are like devils.
I can't believe they're still around. They're finally going to go down to Link surrounding them, but it took way too long.
Alright, Impact has to win right here and right now here. Can he make this attack work? He's actually going to trap these units here. The sentries included. Corrosive Bite might land on top of them.
Oh, he gets one sentry pretty quickly here. Another couple bars coming down. Queen's being microed with this Overlord as he is going to keep on pressing forwards. The Oracles are going to be starting to fight, but that's where the Queens come into play. But actually, the Queens are going down very quickly, so he is going to lose his kind of anti-air damage. And the Oracles are starting to run out of energy as well, though. And Immortal here is actually trapped in between the Pylon and the Robo. Nowhere to run there, buddy. As you see, the Ravager numbers, though, are definitely decreasing. Another Immortal pops out. It looks as though herO will have enough to defend this in the end. For a moment, it looked scary, and there's a couple of things that seem to be going wrong, but at the end of the day, I mean, still has shield batteries over on the third Nexus, and herO defends with ease, I feel like, to tie this up 1 game apiece.
Yeah, in the previous series that we saw, whoever attacked in the first 2 games won, but this time around it's very different. Like, both players really playing super well, and in this case, I think herO doing a lot better with the scouting and seeing what's coming, and Impact just took a big risk. You know, those links early on, if you make that many of them and they don't do any damage, you're in so much trouble. Not only, like, and herO reacted perfectly, by the way, like, not only he had 1 adept in the wall back at home to not let the links get in, he also had 2 across the map, applying so much more pressure and forcing, like, what, 18 more links out of Impact, who was just so far behind on the worker count.
And I think those couple of adepts later as well, they start kind of forcing some reinforcements to deal with them, some Roaches peeled back, it delays the attack.
Yeah.
And it just kind of also slows down mining time, so there is less Lings reinforcing as well eventually too, which in attacks like this, which can be pretty cutthroat, really can make the difference. So everything just going right for herO here, and even though he didn't build up aggressively, he built up more kind of economy focused, and Impact tried to take advantage of that. herO shuts him down. And
herO reacted very fast, by the way, on his army that got caught, the sentries. When I saw that, I was like, if this was me, I'd have the biggest deer in the headlight moments. and look at my army just die and be like, okay, I guess I've just lost. But there's a lot of bad things he could have done, right? So he could have stayed there and tried to force field, but then corrosive bite would have landed. He could have recalled, but then corrosive bite would have landed before recall would have worked, so most of his units would have died, especially the sentries. What did he do? He force fielded perfectly and moved to the left as to dodge corrosive bile and even delaying the attack quite a bit. And he forced a drop off from the queen, so the defense was actually quite brilliant from herO. Like there was many ways he could have kind of butchered this, but he didn't.
Very impressive play as we get into our third game here, looking to see whether herO or Impact will take the lead onto match point in this qualifying match for IEM Katowice. The top left-hand side of Odyssey, a map we didn't see in the previous PvZ series. It's our Red Protoss player, it is herO. To the bottom right-hand side, our Blue Zerg player from Dead Pixels, it's Impact.
Innovation, eagerly waiting for the loser of this matchup.
I don't know if he's going to be so eager if herO ends up losing though.
It's innovation, man. he has no emotions. Actually, yeah, you're right. He's not eagerly waiting. He's just preparing a script, a build order.
Well, this is a drone very early across the map from Impact, and that's not just for a friendly scout. Nuh-uh. That is for Rockseed Hatchery. A little bit away, so it doesn't get scouted immediately. A little bit kind of, he wants this to finish up. He doesn't just want this to be a hatch to delay a nexus. He wants this to be a hatch to build units, to build roaches, maybe even press forward with spines. He wants this to be something that can win him the game, as herO will come down to expand here. This time, no probe scout.
Yeah, which
and still none.
We've actually seen a lot of scouts early on from a lot of Protosses in many of these games. So Impact has some sort of information on herO, which it does get right because herO didn't scout, which, I mean, if you had, like, it's a disaster, right? For when you go for this kind of build, it gets spotted instantly. It's almost like you want to get out of the game immediately.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tough as we're going to see drones coming across the map as well. So this is not just like going to make some units spread with creep with queens. This is going to be, I'm going to build spines and it's going to be at your front door very, very soon.
And usually when you do a spine rush like this, behind it, it's going to be a link flood. Because then you can break the wall, which makes the links so strong as soon as they get in. It's going to get spotted now. But I mean, it's so late already. Like, what is herO supposed to do? Like, cancel the Nexus?
I guess it gives him time to choose his tech, right? Because now he doesn't just build up a Stargate or something.
And usually a Robo will be the way to go. You can also get a Forge and Mass Cannons. It starts one more gate. Yeah, I think you have to cancel the Nexus, because behind this you know for a fact that the Zerg hasn't expanded and he's going to be playing very aggressive, but all alike impacts. If he wanted, he could expand and get walkers behind this, but it's already so many walkers behind that it's kind of like last game, right? He has to kind of stay the course and keep on being aggressive.
There's no way out of this. As Adept does commit forwards, but with slow lings, he can kite and will do just fine, apart from the fact the spine's going to finish up and we'll just get a single poke. Maybe two, actually, with those lings nearby. It started to go a little bit wrong for the Adept there. Just finally shade away. It's the most important creep teamer there to push these spines in towards the front. You can see Impact obviously not even burrowing those spines yet. He's waiting for the creep. He knows he needs to get this right in the front and to get this poke. And honestly, that Robo facility is going to be very exposed very quickly. But I guess the shield battery will keep it alive long enough for the first Immortal. Although currently supply blocked, that Immortal's not on the way out yet.
It's maybe not going to have the energy anymore right now.
Yeah.
Impact is preventing the shield battery from, staying full energy. It's already made... Really it's used all of it already, so...
Yeah, it's huge actually, and the lings here could definitely help.
Oh, the Immortal's almost out?
It's halfway done. These lings get speed and they push some units back. He's going to go into the Robo now, which hits a Chrono Boost, but the Immortal goes down. That's going to be huge. Yeah, I mean, extra shield batteries. I mean, you're losing so much at the front. This extra gateway is going to drop. The pylons are being picked away at. The spines are just marching on forwards. Lings are currently surrounding those stalkers on the top side and just draining the energy on those shield batteries. Honestly, there's the link flood continuing through like you said it would be, to the point where it's just game over. Impact, a huge pick-off on the Robo facility.
I think the Robo cannot be in the wall here if you're going to do that. Maybe make it up the ramp somewhere. Just wall off with gates.
Build everything up the ramp, I think. Buy time.
Yeah, but then the creep gets on your natural and then you're facing a lockdown against a Zerg that... Like I said, it's hard to rebuild economy from there, but it's not impossible for Impact because if he gets any sort of good lockdown, he's still going to be able to get a hatchery on his natural pretty quickly and drone back up. Because the lockdown will last for so long. You will need so much to break out of a ramp. Like you will need Robo units and gateway units.
I guess it's nice to have, I guess with shield batteries now, it's nice to have the shield batteries on the low ground so you can fight that.
Yeah, for sure. I think like the wall is just supposed to kind of buy time up until the point you have enough, but having the Robo in the wall and losing that with... Actually, even if that Immortal had come out, I think he would have been trapped in the middle of the
Lynx
links
around
and died
it,
anyway.
Spines hit it. Yeah, it'd be pretty rough.
I think
Well.
to perfectly counter this, you have to scout it early, because then you can do almost anything. Even a forge and like freaking like 10 cannons, something is like better than.
I mean, you look at this and it's very easy to say, well, oh my god, what are you going to do? But I mean, herO could have scouted at any point before he did, right? And I mean, like you say, it's not uncommon to see a probe scouting on the pylon even to try and block a hatchery, you know, after gateway, after nexus, but he did none of this. It was super late for the scout, and herO gets punished for it, put an impact onto match point here. Yeah, we could have a couple of Zergers advancing so far if
we could indeed.
the impact keeps this up. Real Protoss players.
That wouldn't be too shocking.
Well, you say that, but Protoss qualified for Pyeongchang, so...
Yeah. In this one, it's the Zergs that have been leading the charge, it
all
seems like.
about Zerg. Well, you don't have any Zerg left in the lower bracket unless Impact ends up dropping down there, so guaranteed one non-Zerg qualified player here today. And we'll just be seeing if Impact can be another Zerg through. Obviously, Dark did defeat Classic 3-2 so far. If you missed that earlier, it was a pretty crazy, hectic PvZ. This one's starting to live up to it, to be fair. I mean, a couple of aggressive attacks, you know, proxy hatch. Maybe Impact and herO were watching them. You know, maybe they heard us say, like, you can't get crazier than that. And they're like, watch us.
That's the thing. Like, all of these guys are so high level that they know that by doing some of these builds, as long as they can do it right and have the opponent, you know, have some sort of information, like I said, it might have been key here. Maybe herO is known for not scouting as much against Zerg, or like on this map in particular, and Impact was like, I'm just going to punish you for that because I can.
All right, well, there you go. The 12 pool on Neon Violet Square, map 4. Looking to cheese his way into victory and into Katowice. Our blue Zerg player is Impact. His opponent to the top left-hand side. I'll have to pull off a defense here, and oh my gosh. Is that going to be... Oh, I guess he's got the power on the low ground. Okay. To the top left-hand side, our Red Bros player is herO. For a moment there, I thought the pylon was in the main. I was like, he's going to Nexus first, but no. It's just the gateway coming down. In this game, he does scout after pylon, and so he should get the information fairly quick here that this is a 12 pool, though not immediately. The Impact's going to look as though he's trying to expand, which you do actually want to do with a 12 pool. Now herO goes into the main, and you'll see the speed of that spawning pool.
Yeah, this is really good for herO. Like, being able to spot this. Yeah, this like almost should be like a super easy defense as well, because there is no gas with this build.
I wonder though, can you come, maybe if Impact comes around the left side, yeah, herO's going to build a pylon there instantly. That's what I was going to say, like the second entrance, but...
It delays the Nexus, right, but not enough for it to justify like the actual build, and actually Impact is committing a lot to Zerglings. He's running past this.
Usually, kind of a Zerg would try and get the hatch down by now, like the expansion, because you're only on kind of mineral mining, so you can't afford it. I guess he'll go towards the gold base, which sort of makes sense, right? You can't get on the natural, but
I'm surprised herO didn't run there with the probe. He could have prevented this as well. That would have been even better.
It feels like the obvious choice as well when the natural already is being blocked. Anyways, these Zerglings are going to arrive, as you can see. Well, it's double gate and a cybernetics core here as herO's got a zealot out already, and it's going to be a little bit intriguing, but generally this is not going to be too bad. Now he sneaks around to potentially open up a surround. Not going to happen though, and well, Impact will dance as much as he wants. He's not going to get the damage needed here. Well, there's still no Nexus from herO, so again, you can look at it that way and say, well, the economy of this Protoss has been slowed down. He gets a single probe, but still really not enough. Especially with how many lings he made. He made like 10 or so.
Yeah.
Starts to get us around now, and we'll get into the main, but again, 2 lings should not kill a probe. They're just going to be for like annoyance at this stage.
Actually, herO is sending both in the main base. He has an adept. Wait, what? You just sent everything? herO?
Yeah,
Are you still there? Team?
I mean, yeah, I agree. That's not how you would usually do this, and you just leave one zealot in the wall. You don't need anything else.
Now, by the way, like.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit, especially with a gold base coming up from like Impact. You know, you delay this Nexus much more. I feel like you're already in a little bit trouble. The thing is, though, Impact may be starting to catch up on drones, but now he has to make more units to make sure you can defend the Adepts and the Zealots, because 2 Adepts and 2 Zealots will trade very well against slow Zerglings.
Yeah, so that means he's going to stay behind in walkers despite having the gold base that is starting to saturate now.
Actually, with it being a gold base as well, he could even maybe just attack there, and it could really kind of, well, pull units all over the place and make it difficult to reinforce as 19 workers, Impact, link speed coming up. I wonder if he maybe just tries.
Link speed is so late because of all this too.
Yeah.
Like these are going to be slow links for a long time. If you can get a good surround there, and I think like he's going to get it.
He's going to get the Zealots at least. He'll start to chase the Adept as well for lings. but still, I mean, for herO, losing these units is far from the end of the world, considering just how many lings he forced, how low the drone count is from impact, and how safe he is with Wall-Up up at the front already. 2 gates as well, right? So he continues to make Adepts 2 at a time, and I mean, Impact is still losing Zerglings. These Adepts are going huge.
Yeah, those are so inexpensive as well. Like, he can still keep on making probes continuously in the meantime. I wonder what is going to be here from herO. I think Glaives, especially because those hatcheries are very far apart, might be really good.
Yeah, I'd actually love to see Glaives. Maybe even just Glaives in like a ton of gateways, because it's so difficult for Impact to come back from this position. To deal with Adepts when you're already behind is going to be really tough. So we'll see, but I think Glaives definitely could be it. See in a moment, because the Twilight's finishing. Maybe he just throws down a Darktron and like Archon drops potentially as well. No, Glaives it is.
I'm surprised that Impact even wants to drop here.
I think he's just going to go all in. I think he's just going to try and like win the game off the back of this, perhaps.
I guess he knows that. Yeah, those Adepts are across the map.
Yeah.
I don't know if herO has the energy to recall, but
more Adepts there at the moment. Well, this could get quite a bit done because herO doesn't see it. So here we go. Impact looking for something right now. Start bringing him back into this game, and he gets 1-2 probes very quickly, but he still needs a lot more than this over time to really make it work out. And again, for now, it is just the 2. The Maulings coming over, Dronin and Banes behind it, but man, still 10 workers down. Well, into the natural. Here we go.
herO so far not taking that much damage, but now he's going to start on adding up here. All these probes dying. Been 4 so far. Can he defend a little bit better there?
Use the Glaives as well. I don't agree with attacking the Twilight Council at any stage of this, right? Because it's just a build and you're not actually going to have the time to fully target down and kill, so you're just wasting damage time. And
he killed 1 Adept.
yeah, this was really not how it was maybe meant to go.
I guess he's getting Banelings, and he knows that herO's going to do a counterattack, so if he can get some sick connections, like if herO messes up, he would be in trouble, but
it's so hot.
He should be alright, right? Like 33 workers to 30, not the biggest of difference.
I suppose, like, I think herO's just going to have such a powerful army though, right? I mean, he can warp in so much. He already has 11 Adepts. Like, even with a few Banes on the way at the moment, they're still a long way off being in plentiful numbers to actually kind of comfortably push this back. And herO even added on more gateways, so he's just going to stick to the 2 bases for the moment. And we do see these initial Banes coming in, and herO doesn't split just yet, has that Prism to the side, will cancel on it. Shade actually does go off in towards the main base, so this is where it gets very difficult to start catching up with these Adepts. You know, the Banes can't kind of keep up all the time. Still only a very low number of Banelings, I feel. Shade out, we'll just look to trade some more.
Yeah, I mean, you can always expect herO as well to make the most of, you know, a mass setup like this. Is literally shading all over the place. The split is going to be there.
Yeah, very nice split, and actually shades away just before some real damage maybe was done. Some Adepts in the main actually, and this is why he was so good as well, you know, controlling units in multiple locations. So 15 workers killed, and now Impact really has to find something amazing to the point where he just knows he can't. herO
actually didn't have that much at home because he was at 70 out of 70 with way more supply than Impact. First world problems when units are not dying that you can reinforce at home to defend.
Microing too well, not letting those Banes find the connections they want. herO finds a way to tie it up. I mean, honestly, just off the back of a very solid defense of the 12 pool. 12 pool is one of those things where sometimes it works and you're like, whoa, he wins instantly. But if it gets defended, scouted, it's not even that hard to defend nowadays because players are just so good at knowing what to do, and they just know how it works out beyond that as well. You know, knowing you can counterattack with the units, use the Adepts and Zelts to force.
It came down to a detail of like herO not only just scouting early, but then getting the pylon and then double checking the main anyway, because Impact almost like sold this properly by having a drone down on his natural at the right timing too, that it kind of looked like it was a standard build.
herO not letting himself be tricked here, tying it up and keeping himself a chance to qualify into Katowice. Again, would love to redeem himself from that performance last year. The IEM Prince looking for another IEM, well, appearance. He had a good, he didn't have a terrible year of IEMs though. You know, Shanghai hit the finals, only to be defeated by the man of the month, herO. herO was on fire at that point, so. Yeah, herO.
herO has been playing pretty incredible actually last year. That was definitely one of the guys that I expected to do as well as he did, but
I think in the second half of the year as well, like he started to get a lot of hype, and then he delivered on the hype, like really consistent performances.
But it feels like now he's kind of fell off also in a way.
I actually feel the same. I feel as though the last month or two he's been maybe a bit, you know, since BlizzCon when we have seen him a little bit, we haven't seen too much. Obviously, for this event, he's already qualified. He gets an invite as after winning BlizzCon or Shanghai, one of the two.
Yeah.
Either way.
He's the first player that we know is going to be there.
Yeah. Rogue, Dark, maybe Impact, all the Zergs. You ready for some ZVZ? All right, let's do
Roddy
this.
He's our expert.
Top left-hand side, the Red Brothers player. Will save us from the onslaught of Zergs in the Katowice bracket. It is herO. His opponent to the bottom right-hand side of the map, blue Zerg player from Dead Pixels, is Impact.
Going for an early extractor into a pool and then going to be looking to try and expand. herO definitely willing a lot more to scout now after the proxy hatch that we saw earlier. Just to make sure he's not being rushed anymore.
Yeah, herO will make sure not to let Impact kind of take advantage of that, which is what Impact was trying to do last game as well, like take advantage of the lack of scouting. This is quite a nice map for the Game 5. You said it earlier, one of the staple maps of the map pools now. We see it in the best of freeze a lot of the time.
A long block, by the way, on that hatchery.
Yeah, Impact's had some trouble getting this hatch down today. Finally gets it. Wasn't too many minerals over, at least in the end. herO will begin his wall off at the front of the natural.
Yeah, and with the way herO's been playing here, there's a lot of potential, like for him to try and hide a little bit more what he's doing. Like obviously Impact, it feels like he has to open with metabolic boosts. But does he go into Nemetized Carapace? And on a map like this, you can actually hide buildings at the back of your mineral line. There's so many good mind games, like, and herO is just so good at them. Even at the Global Finals, like, when he had to play Catalina against Zerg, like, what did he do? He was like, oh, well, it's hard to take a third base. Let me just mass charge load all in you with a War Prism in your main base after opening Stargate. Who's going to expect that? Well, definitely not his opponent, so...
Yeah.
I think that was against Elaser or something.
They definitely played in the groups, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that was against Elaser, and it actually worked out beautifully as well. Goes for a Stargate there.
herO's PvZ was so good in the group stages of the Global Finals.
I actually thought like he was gonna take it all or do slightly better. I was surprised he went out the way he did, especially against Zerg.
It was Rogue though, as you said, Rogue was on fire, as we do see. Probe, you had one job. You were doing it for a little bit, but not forever. Hatchery does get to go down. There's a couple of Lings getting a couple of probes. And that's very, something that doesn't usually happen to herO of all players. He's very good at pulling those probes away in plenty of time.
Both players have been on point with so many things. Like already, like we're 3 minutes into the game, so many little details are being done so well. That's why I'm also looking forward to the first-person shots, that we show at the Intellectual Masters. Like it's so good to see these guys in their elements, not with the full information, just being as aggressive as they can with just a couple of units here and there.
Two depths through the center of the map will be coming across, and they're going to get found pretty quick because Impact preemptively made a whole chunk of Zerglings here. He gets the full surround. And herO's Adept Shade stopped moving for a little bit, so they're not that far away to the point where this second Adept is going to be found, is going to be hunted, and it's going to go down. I think herO a couple of times today has made that mistake with the Adept Shades just not continuing to move along when they should be. This time it cost them an Adept here, so nice pick off by Impact. Really good kind of just knowledge about the matchup, obviously, to be able to pick up on the fact that herO probably will have 2 Adepts and to make 10 Lings preemptively for it. The Queen starts to hit this Oracle very early on, and the Oracle dies quite far. Take a lot of damage, will not go down, but only 1 or 2 hits away. It's playing with fire here, as Lings are trying to squeeze through, but the Adept will hold at the front.
Yeah, he needs the next one quickly, though, to make sure these don't get in. Yeah, Oracle will come and kind of save the day here. Nice, it feels like the shield battery going from 75 to 100 minerals. Like, you want to make them a lot less. Before, it almost felt like they were free, and now they're the most expensive thing ever. Like, it's crazy the difference that 25 minerals make.
Yeah. 75 is... It does just feel like so expensive,
yeah,
right?
75 is like a roach,
it's not
it's
even,
like, make as many as you want.
It's not even triple figures, man. It's like you can make endless shield batteries.
They should make it 99.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's like the 99 effect.
All of a sudden, we see them popping up everywhere. 9.99.
All right, well, we're going to be seeing the little bit of a Twilight Council and Robo follow-up here. Templar Archives once again, charge starting up. herO giving himself the option to play aggressively as a follow-up if you'd like to, but obviously also has the potential just to throw down the third Nexus while doing some bits and pieces. He sees the Hydra Den super early. Seeing a Hydra Den early like this may trigger him to be a bit more aggressive than if he was to, say, see a set of Roaches, which is so much better at dealing with charge shot Archon attacks. So, herO with the options now and the information, but Impact once again catching a dev, shutting them down, I say as they get away. But pretty much stopping them from doing damage at least. Should have got the kill there, really. I think he messed up this round just slightly. Either way, he might even still get it as the wings catch for a moment.
They could have moved.
Oh my god, an Oracle going down as well. That's a bit of a shame too.
herO
losing a lot.
Yeah, the third base is quite delayed here for herO. He might just be forced to go for a massive attack in a second.
Yeah,
Gonna be adding more gates as well.
I mean, look how much money herO has. He's ready to warp in or to, throw down a third Nexus. Now instead he throws down 4 extra gateways. He's going to be on 8 in total. He's even losing the pylon at the third, which makes it more difficult to take as well. herO is being bullied into decisions here, and so Impact, I think at 54 workers, is just realizing, okay, no third Nexus. Guess what? I'm just going to make units, and shut you down. Stop you.
All he has to do is just keep on making links, Hydras, then add enough Banes to counter whatever ground is being thrown at him. And like, can herO actually somehow start Storm and say, yes, I'm going to slow down because he's expecting an attack too much? I feel like there's almost no chance. It's more like he's going to attack and try to make the most of the attack, even if he doesn't kill Impact.
Gets himself an early Overlord, and Impact is actually momentarily supply block, but Overlords are already on the way, so even there he's looking pretty good.
6 of them as well.
Yeah, he's not going to have to think about Overlords for an eternity now, and he's got the Hydras to push these initial Archons back, honestly. They come in, so 7 forward so he can get towards the Prism too. And really, herO's finding nothing at all. At least he will eventually get the third Nexus.
He started a Forge.
I mean, I guess he's just going to look
surprised.
for he does not want to lose that.
Like, if herO had the discipline to say, yeah, an attack just cannot work there, and then he just kind of turtles, it's actually okay for him, because Impact is so getting ready for an attack. He's not even getting, any upgrades from an Evo or something. Yeah, herO, like if he just starts +1 and then gets Storm, he's still getting Archons, which is okay as well if you think you're going to have to fight soon.
Well, Impact's still just making units, so maybe Impact realizing this now. I mean, you have to realize when the War Prism is going all the way back home, that you have the chance to maybe sneak in a couple of drones, right? But Impact decides not to, so it looks as though he might just wait for Bane speed, morph in a ton of Banelings, and just go and try and burst herO down to win this. He's making his decision. I mean, you can't go back on it now after not starting drones for so long.
herO is all caught up on walkers. Can he realize, though, that Impact's going to be the one attacking because he made units to get ready for a defense?
I mean, one of the big things to see would be something like the lack of a 4th hatchery.
Yeah, but the Observer is too far out to, or even spotting the army. Yeah, now he's checking. He's looking, he's fishing for the info. He sees that massive army. That's such a scary army for what he has.
So many Hydralisks. He's actually herO's on the map. Of course, he does have recall, but...
Yeah. He's happy to bluff that one attack as well, because he knows that's going to buy him time. Sees the lack of 4th base, and right now he should know he's getting cornered. He's trying to move back so that he doesn't have to use a recall, so he can have more chrono boost to work with.
A second Robo and a Robo Babe means that Colossus production is his intention. But that doesn't help him defend right now. That's, structures, not
He's warping
units.
in sentries. I like that, because there is so many Banelings. If you can land some money sentries, it's going to be very useful. Where is he going with half of his army?
He's going to split up. Well, that means that the Banes are going to have a better time crashing into Zealots on the left already. A lot of damage being done as Impact is going to continue to fight. These Archons are dropping very low very quickly. And honestly, I didn't like that split up of herO's army because it feels as though it just enabled him, or enabled Impact to take a great fight here. And Impact is absolutely destroying this. Probes are going to keep on pushing through. Immortals are going down, and Impact is seconds away from qualifying himself to IEM Katowice. There it is. Impact takes the series 3-2. Don't count him out, and don't count him out in Katowice, because he will be there after defeating herO. He's our second player to qualifier from this qualifier.
Yeah, so a third Zerg out of 3 players so far, and herO for him, that means that he's going to be facing Innovation in a best of 3, and then the winner of that will be in a qualifying match against the winner of, it was...
Stats.
Classic against
Classic Stats. Well, there is our confirmation of the bracket right there. Impact qualifies 3-2 over herO, joins Dark, who is 3-2 over Classic. Nice to get these best of 5s going the distance, and there is the rest of our bracket as well.
By the way, Stats has been on a grind. Like, he lost in round 1 of the winner's bracket, so he fell in the lower bracket immediately, and then he beat Bunny, Deer, and SOS.
And he's going like 3 games against each of them as well, it seems. Classic versus Stats, and also it's not going to be Impact Innovation, it will be herO Innovation, which will be a PvT, and I think that's the one we want to try and catch next.
Yeah.
And that's, again, not a qualifying match. That's a best of 3. The winner of that plays in the qualifying match against the winner of Stats versus Classic. So a couple of great games are going to be coming on up. Do not go anywhere. We're going to be back with more of this Intel Extreme Masters Katowice qualifier after the break.